Hi guys, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. Today's video we're going to be making this card, but I'm actually going to be making it for a birthday rather than a wedding because I need a birthday card. So we are going to be using the Piece of Cake stamp set and the Cake Builder Punch on the project. These items are sold as a bundle in the Occasions catalog. Buying bundles saves you 10%, so that's always awesome. So let me get these out of the way here. Here are the supplies we need for the card. I have a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of thick Whisper White. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer here, and I am going to score it at 5.5 inches. Just makes it a little bit easier to fold. I also have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of regular Whisper White, and I'm going to run that through my Big Shot with my tufted folder. And a lot of the new folders from Stampin' Up! Have a line printed on them, which is very helpful when you're lining things up, because if you just put your cardstock right at the edge of that line, then it's going to be straight and even. So I'm going to run this over to my Big Shot, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back with that. Look at that impression. That is awesome. This is one of our dynamic textured impressions embossing folders, and you get a really, really deep impression with these. I do like to spritz my paper with a little bit of rubbing alcohol before I run it through. And I do choose alcohol rather than water because I find that water can start to damage the fibers of the paper if you end up using too much, and alcohol just simply evaporates. So I haven't ever had any issues with alcohol. Okay, I have a scrap of white for the cake. I have a 1 by 4 inch piece of black cardstock. I have a 2 by 3 3/8 inch piece of Flirty Flamingo. And then I ran another layer of white through my Big Shot using my rectangle stitch framelits and die number 3. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, I do take all my rectangle thinlits, framelits dies, and I do mark them 1 through 8 for this set here, 1 being the smallest, and then A, B, C, D for these kind of longer, skinnier rectangles, and then this one's just kind of an oddball rectangle, so it's not marked at all. Anyway, so that was number 3 there. All right, so let's do some stamping and cutting. So first of all, I'm going to bring in some of my stamps here and my Memento Black. So I'm going to start with my sentiment here. We're going to put this at the bottom of the rectangle piece. This says, enjoy every crumb of the cake, obviously. So let's just get that down there at the bottom. Then I have the cake piece here, so we're inking that up also in the Memento. And I'm going to stamp that on this scrap of white, like that. Okay. And then I do need to stamp this little flower arrangement at the top of my cake, but I'm not going to do that until I actually start to put these things in order and build them up. I'm going to bring in some of my Stampin' Blends markers. I've got the light Pineapple Punch, and I'm just going to color in some of the what I would consider the frosting. Those bands of frosting there, or maybe that's fondant. And then I have the light Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to color in the roses. All right, and then we're going to punch that out. So I'm going to bring in my punch here. And I need to trim some of that off. Got a little too close to the top edge. Oops, a little bit more here. There we go. That should do it. And we're going to punch out our cake piece here. And then we also need the cake stand. Got a piece of our amazing black foil sheet here, and I'm going to actually punch it from the back side. Just like that. And there we have our cake stand. Thought the black foil sheet was a pretty cool addition to that. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive to the cake stand here. Okay. We're going to put that right above the sentiment. There we go. And then we have our cake. And I'm going to just kind of figure out where my cake's going to go. I'm not actually going to press it into place just yet. And then I'm going to bring in my ink pad and my little flower arrangement here. We're going to stamp that right on top of the cake. So I just kind of placed my cake there for placement purposes only. And now I'll go ahead and actually tack it down. There we go. Okay. I'm going to allow that ink to dry just a bit before I actually color that. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this to my piece of Flirty Flamingo. There we go. Bring in our card here. Go ahead and get that folded. Bring in a bone folder. Okay. I'm going to add my embossed piece. I'm going to go ahead and add my glue to the back side of this. Well, what I'm considering the back side. Either side would work. And I like to use liquid glue when I've actually embossed some paper. I just feel like it sticks better. Try to get that centered. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my piece of black, and I've got some of my Pineapple Punch 1/8 inch grosgrain ribbon. We're going to add a few strips of the ribbon around this piece. Bring in a couple of little pieces of Scotch tape here. Wrap that to the back. Stretch it out across, and we'll tack this to the back also. Okay, and then we're going to do that one more time with the other strip that we just cut off. And I'm leaving about 1/8 inch gap between the two pieces. All right. Run that along, and we'll get that taped to the back as well. Okay, now we're going to add this to the front of the card with some dimensionals. I've got some little dimensional pieces here. There we go. Peel the backings off. And then we're going to add this to the front of the card. Oh, I don't know, about 1.5 inches up from the bottom, give or take. Make sure it's centered. Sometimes my eyeballs play tricks on me and they think something's centered and it's really not. Let's hope that that's centered. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of detail to this little flower spray here with my Stampin' Blends markers. Again, I've got the light Pineapple Punch. Do some of these little flowers here. All right, and then we'll bring in the Flirty Flamingo and get the rest of those flowers. Like my coloring skills are a little lacking at the moment, so I am going to release this cake. Since I used snail, I should be able to gently pick it off, or there we go. What you can also do is you can use your heat tool and you can heat that up a little bit, and then it'll come right off. So I'm going to snip that, and then I'm going to try to get this a little closer to those flowers. Okay, that looks a little bit better. All right, there we go. And then we're just going to add this to the front of the card with a couple of dimensionals. And I'm going to put one at the top and one at the bottom, and I'm going to kind of straddle the ribbon so I'm not adding any excess bulk to my card. And we'll just do like about, oh, whoops, that's not really in the middle. Sometimes, again, my eyes, they just play tricks on me. That is not straight. Geez Louise, why is this so difficult? Oh, I tell you. Some days are definitely better than others. How's that? Does that look pretty good? I hope so. I'm going to bring in my rhinestones and my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to add a couple of rhinestones to the center of these flowers on the cake. Doesn't ever hurt to have a little bit more bling on something. And there we have it. Now, if you wanted to, you could always put something on the inside. What do we have here that we could put on the inside? We could just put happy birthday. How about that? Let's pull that happy birthday out of here. There we go. Get a block. Okay. We can open that up. Ooh, maybe we'll add some of the little flower images too. We'll see. If we color them, it's going to show through, I think. There we go. Well, we can always clean that off. Bring in my chamois here. It looks filthy, but it's clean. I literally just cleaned it before I filmed this video. Maybe we'll bring in some Flirty Flamingo, and rather than coloring them in, because I don't really like it when it shows through to the other side of the paper, we'll just do this. Add some little flowers at the top and bottom. So there we have it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out, and I appreciate that. Helps me know that you're enjoying what I'm making. And I would appreciate your orders at shoppingwithbarb.com. You can use my monthly host code for free gifts. And as I always say, I hope you have a wonderful day.